Nancy Pelosi gets totally and completely humiliated as she's caught red-handed violating COVID orders at a beauty parlor closed to the public. In this video, we're going to take a look at the utterly cringeworthy embarrassment that Speaker Pelosi has become, why her hypocritical criticisms of President Trump have come back to bite her, and how Pelosi's behavior is only fueling the rising populist revolt that is changing politics forever. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone, patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you as always. If this is your first time here on this channel, a warm welcome to you. We post 2 videos a day analyzing current events, allow some super awesome conservative trends so we can all live in the present in light of even better things to come. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to, come on, smack that bell and subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a regular part of our channel where each and every day we together celebrate the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. Before we dive in here, have you seen gold and silver lately? I mean, gold recently made history. It hit a record high of around $2,000 an ounce. And the billionaire Thomas Kaplan predicts we are not far from gold getting to $5,000 an ounce. Now, if you're sick of low returns and volatility from the market, it is time to look at gold and silver. And that, my friends, is where our good friends over at Noble Gold come in. There's just never been a better time to start a gold or silver IRA in your portfolio. And the amazing staff over at Noble Gold are ready to help you in any way that they can. And if that's not incentive enough, Noble Gold is giving away the U.S. Mint's own solid silver 5-ounce $1 Apollo 11 moon landing coin with each qualifying gold or silver IRA. It's absolutely beautiful. So don't wait. Click on that link below or visit their website at noblegoldinvestments.com or give them a call, 877-646-5347. Make sure to mention my name, Dr. Steve Turley, and let's ride that gold wave together. All right, gang, so let's dive right in here. How much do you think Nancy Pelosi paid for her little tryst to the beauty parlor? How much was that shampoo and blowout? Well, if the fallout from her little outing to a beauty salon is any indicator, her bill for a shampoo and a blowout just blew up big time. As you may have heard, Fox News broke the story of Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi violating San Francisco's own lockdown orders. Security camera footage leaked exclusively to Fox shows Pelosi at a hair salon on Monday afternoon. She had come for a wash and blowout, even though local ordinances have closed all hair salons, allowing them only to do business outside. Pelosi can clearly be seen walking indoors through the San Francisco salon, her hair wet. And if you could believe it, I can't even bring myself to say this. She wasn't even wearing a mask. Oh, the horror. I mean, everyone else in the security camera footage, they're all wearing a mask. But Nancy, I refuse to believe it. It's a conspiracy. No, it's impossible. It can't be. And that's because Nancy herself told us that not wearing a mask is a slap in the face of science. Do you remember that? Just hours before going to the beauty salon, Pelosi was excoriating the president for holding his convention speech on the White House lawn, and she said this on MSNBC, and I quote, "What further evidence does anyone need that this president doesn't care less about the spread of this virus than to see what he did? Vandalizing, by the way, the White House by bringing all those people there. No masks, no distancing, and the rest. He slapped science right in the face." Vandalized after months of rioting and looting and burning and defacing and destroying statues and monuments across the country. Now Nancy Pelosi is worried about vandalism. I mean, you gotta admit, that's chutzpah, gang. I know she knows she's on MSNBC. I know she could literally sputter anything out of her mouth, no matter how insane, and MSNBC will defend her, but I mean, that takes the cake. She's now officially upset about vandalism. So you heard her, right? To not wear a mask. Again, I will quote, bringing all those people there, no masks, no distancing. Trump slapped science right in the face. It's a dumb metaphor. I don't know who told her to use it. It's really stupid. It doesn't actually make much sense and completely misses the mark. But alas, my friends, Regardless of her poor taste in rhetorical metaphors, Nancy, as it turns out, has found her own ways of smacking science around herself. If what Trump did was a slap in the face of science, what's not wearing a mask or social distancing while at the same time breaking city ordinances called? What do we call that? Well, let's call it what CNN called it. It's a gift. That's how CNN saw it. Nancy Pelosi just handed Trump a wonderful campaign gift. Remember, CNN finally acknowledged that all the riots going on across our nation's cities were actually, in point of fact, riots. Only after they realized that no one was buying their pathetic gaslighting attempt at calling them peaceful protests, right? While Biden's poll numbers were going down in the tank, collapsing. Then and only then did they call for an end to these riots. Now, what Nancy Pelosi did, if that wasn't outrageous enough, it just wasn't rank hypocrisy on her part. What she did was so bad only because, according to CNN, it gave Trump fodder. It gave Trump an opportunity to take the high ground. Salon owner Erica Keels told Fox News she was absolutely livid after finding out about Nancy Pelosi's visit. I don't know. I did not know this, but it makes sense. Beauty parlors often rent out chairs to independent stylists, so the owner is more of a renter. She did not know that Pelosi made an appointment. And guess how she described the visit? The salon owner. She said, I kid you not, she said Pelosi's visit was a slap in the face. It was a slap in the face that she went in, that she feels that she can just go in and get her stuff done while no one else can go in and can't work. So obviously the owner was livid. I'm sure she's the one who leaked the security camera footage to Fox. I have not confirmed that. Now, needless to say, when even CNN recognized that Pelosi just gave President Trump a massive gift, wrapped with a ribbon and all, it's pretty clear that more and more pundits are recognizing the extraordinary surge in populist sentiments going on all over the world, but particularly here in the United States. What Pelosi did was nothing less than absolutely confirm the growing populist grievances against our political class. Now, before we get into it, we've got something for you podcast fans out there. We recently launched our brand new Turley Talks podcast, which tens of thousands of you have been downloading. I got something for you on that. I cannot thank you for that. We're excited to share with you that we are now the 23rd most downloaded podcast for daily news. We jumped 20 slots just in the last couple of weeks. It's really amazing. We were in the top 40 a couple of weeks back. Now we're almost in the top 20. But you can help us actually become the #1 conservative news and commentary podcast by simply clicking on the link below in the pinned comments section and signing up to download our new podcast twice a day, every day. You can take Turley Talks anywhere you go, so make sure to click on that link below and sign up for our Turley Talks podcast, and let's together make our podcast #1. All right, so what we have to understand about populism and the growing populist movement in our nation is that it centers on grievances that are provoked precisely on account of behavior like this coming from Nancy Pelosi. Forget the utter and complete hypocrisy with regard to her whole slap in the face of science nonsense with Trump. Forget that. What's even more significant about Pelosi's little tryst to the beauty salon, that of course is closed to everyone else, is that it underscores the radical discrepancy between the ruling class and the ruled, the political class and the people, a discrepancy which is currently fueling a worldwide populist revolt like we've never seen. And we've talked about this on a number of our other videos, but what we have to understand is that part of the political paradigm shift that we're seeing literally throughout the world today is a move away from the old partisan animosities that characterize the politics of the 20th century. So we're no longer seeing the world in terms of, say, like Republicans versus Democrats, conservatives versus liberals, or right versus left. Increasingly, more and more, the world's population is seeing the new political animosity as between the political class versus the people, the rulers versus the ruled. This is the massive populist wave that's quite literally sweeping the world. and in turn sweeping the corrupt and debauched political class out of power from more and more countries. I think a particularly good book that first recognized this paradigm shift away from left versus right and towards the ruling class versus the people was a book written by the pollsters Scott Rasmussen and Doug Schoen entitled Mad as Hell. Okay, I think this is a book. It was published back in 2010. So it was right at the beginning of the decade when we began to see the shift. It was during the time of the Tea Party movement. And they found substantial data here in the United States that showed that there was, in fact, a major paradigm shift taking place among the American electorate. And of course, I would argue among the world electorate as a whole, where the old political divides between left and right or liberal versus conservative were collapsing. And a new divide between the political class and the people was emerging. Political class being, of course, our political, economic, media, educational elite. And here in the States, of course, Donald Trump, more than any other presidential candidate, recognized this growing divide between the people and the political class. And across the pond, Brexit represented the apex of the political earthquake that began the process of toppling globalist governments in Poland and Hungary and Austria and Italy and Georgia and Brazil, and put all others on notice that the days of the globalist dictatorship are over. A new nationalist, populist, and traditionalist age is, in fact, rising. Populist sentiments are growing by the day, and they are deeply suspicious about our elite class, our corporate, political, media, university class, who they increasingly see as ruling for their own benefit and not for the benefit of those they claim to represent. This is what makes the whole Jeffrey Epstein saga such an outrage and why we cover it here on this channel. Think about all those associated with Epstein, right? Presidents, prime ministers, princes. Their behavior is fueling this divide between the ruling class and the ruled. The whole sordid tale surrounding Epstein gives plausibility to the notion that the political class operates according to their own rules, their own standards, their own codes of behavior that demur dramatically from the values and the lives of everyone else. So populism cuts across the grain of both political parties and inevitably realigns politics around this new animosity between the people and the political class, the rulers and the ruled. Again, this was the problem with Brexit. Brexit was radically opposed by the Labour Party, which is Britain's center-left party. But Labour's constituents, much of whom were white working-class voters, they voted overwhelmingly for Brexit. They don't want to have anything to do with the bullies in Brussels and the EU. So the nightmare scenario for these Labour politicians is that they were now having to try to thwart a Brexit that the vast majority of their own constituents voted for. And that's why they were wiped out of existence in their last national election back in December of last year, when the Conservatives had one of the biggest landslide wins in Britain's history. This is the political effects of populism. Populism realigns political alliances around a growing and expanding effort to rid our nation of the ruling class. And Nancy Pelosi's tryst to that beauty parlor may indeed be a brutal lesson for just how much our politics are currently being redefined by those very populist sentiments. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on how Chris Cuomo is being investigated for sexual harassment as Tucker Carlson of Fox News goes scorched earth on CNN. You're not going to want to miss that. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.